This week on Bucs Diaries, catch up with the head man, John Gruden, and get his take on the season as we head into the second half of the year. It's all aboard the A-Train. Mike Allstott takes you on the field and gives you an inside look at the man who helps power the Tampa Bay offense. And we'll introduce you to a former Buck who made his way into the end zone more than any other receiver in team history. All this next. From the Buccaneer ship at Raymond James Stadium, welcome to Bucs Diaries. I'm Paul Kennedy. The stadium's quiet this week. The Bucs enjoy an open date following their outing against Minnesota. And you'd have to say that the first half of the season has been a rousing success. Certainly for John Gruden, a record-setting month of October, 4 road wins in which the team doesn't allow an opponent to score an offensive touchdown. They played very well. Here's John Gruden, one-on-one, assessing his first year at the Buccaneer helm.
All right, Coach, there's a lot of different ways you can break the first half of the season. Now, let's take a positive look at a couple of things. And first and foremost, after 8 games, 6-2.
Well, that's something that is a pretty good start. You know, it wasn't our number one goal, but we were able to win 6 games, 3 in each quarter, and win 4 out of 5 on the road. So although we have areas that we need to improve, there were some good things.
And you mentioned the road games of 5 road games out of your first 8. So that means on the back end of the schedule, you're helped out that way at home a lot more.
Yeah, we hope so. You know, there's no guarantees in life, but to have 5 out of our final 8 games at home is something that excites us. We have to take advantage of that and become a dominant home football team. And I know we're going to get a lot of help from our fans. We got to play our best football in Raymond James Stadium.
Generally, that's what ends up happening. You got that 12th man. Talk a bit about the offense. I know that you're not happy with the way that things went in the first half of the season. There were some good things, I know. Point out some of the positives you saw offensively first half of the year.
Well, we won 6 games, you know, and the offense plays in those games too. And we realize that we haven't been nearly as explosive or high-scoring as we want to be, nor have we been as balanced. But we played 3 different quarterbacks, 2 different right tackles, 2 different left guards, 3 different flankers, 4 different tight ends. We played every back on our football team. So everybody's contributed to some degree. We got a ways to go. We got to overcome some injuries, but we got a good group of guys. You'd like to coach this team.
I don't know if you'd want that to happen, Coach. I got to be honest with you there. You talked about the injuries, and that's something over the last 5 or 6 years this team's been able to avoid, but there are some guys. Booger McFarland comes to mind right away. Kerry Jenkins with the orbital fracture, those kind of things. What do you do to overcome that sort of thing?
Well, that's why we have 53 men here, honestly, and everybody's a professional, and you never know when your opportunities are going to be there for you. Losing good football players definitely is hard to overcome, but it's a challenge, and it's got to be met by some of these guys that have made this year's team.
Is it oversimplifying the problems on offense to just say that it's an offensive line problem? Is that too simplistic?
Too many people point the finger. You know, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and they ought to just point the finger at me. I mean, we're not going to just show up here and form a brand new identity by throwing out a new playbook. It's going to take a lot of hard work, execution. It's going to take 11 men, a coaching staff, and some commitment to get it done. And not everything is easy in this league. But we're going to keep pounding the rock, and by God, we're going to get good. And that's got to be proven by us, and that's what we're set out to do.
On the defensive side of the football, I don't know if you can ask much more. Number 1 defense in the league through the first 8 games of this season. Derek Brooks, Defensive Player of the Month for October. I mean, the accolades go on and on.
We got a great group of players here, and they believe in Monty Kiffin and his coaching staff, and they backed it up for a while. It's not where you line up, it's where you wind up. That's the theme around here. The great champions, you know, we want to be like Roy Jones Jr. We want to sustain it, and we don't want to be a one-hit wonder like Buster Douglas.
What has impressed you most on the defensive side of the football? There's so many things I would imagine that you've got to be happy about, but is there any one single thing that stands out for you?
Well, just the tackling, the physicalness in which we play. We're very fast, very explosive. I like the way we hit everybody, all 11 men. Rondé Barber's as physical a corner as I've seen, and you put Dwight Smith, Brian Kelly into that mix. We've had some emerging players with Dexter Jackson. I think Shelton Quarles has really given us some athleticism in the middle. And Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks Lynch have been awesome.
And then finally, Coach, third phase of the game is special teams. There have been some bumps in the road there, but I would think overall you'd have to be happy with the way in the first half of the season your special teams performed for you.
Yeah, I think Gramatica and Tupa have hit the ball well. You know, we've proven if we can protect Martin, he's the best kicker in the world, and he delivered for us in Carolina. But we've got some skilled people on these coverage teams. We got to get our return game going. Carl Williams lit it up early. Been a little bit quiet lately, and that's got to be an area that picks up and helps us gain field position.
All right, Coach, as always, thanks for your time, and best luck second half of the season.
And check this out. With 4 of the team's final 7 games being played here at home in Raymond James Stadium, the Bucs have a great chance of eclipsing the franchise record for victories in a season. That number 11. They've done it twice, 1979 and in 1999. And in both of those years, played in the NFC Championship game. Just ahead, trick or treat. The Buccaneers and children team up at a Halloween party. Bucs Diaries is brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only to the king of beers.